just thought I'd do a quick video on climate change. If you're wondering what I was doing, I was just holding my breath, because I've worked out that if I hold my breath for 60 seconds, 6 times every hour, that because I've watched Greta Thunberg's recent video. Very convicting, very impressive. I was totally unaware of the scale of the problem, and I've decided to take direct and immediate action by lowering my carbon footprint, by stopping breathing, essentially. Because it makes total sense. I mean, I've worked out that since we exhale CO2, and since CO2 is directly responsible for bringing the world to an end in 11 years, and it is, Greta said it is, that if I stop breathing for 6 minutes in every hour, I will have, and do that every day, I will have reduced my carbon footprint by 10%. Every day. Well, slightly less than 10%, because I'm 12 hours in a day, or 14 hours in a day when I'm awake, because I can't help but exhale when I'm sleeping. But still, it's a significant reduction in my carbon footprint just by stopping breathing. And it's a simple. The genius of this idea is that anybody can do it. You can do it anywhere, anytime, and it doesn't cost you anything. So if you happen to be a white capitalist, for example, it won't cost you anything, honky. You won't have to worry about it affecting your pocket and the economy. Never mind the economy, and what good is it having money and having a great economy if there's no planet to spend it on? So, as I said, I really wasn't aware, but I am now after watching Greta. I mean, it's the greatest existential threat that we face. There's no doubt about that. Greta says it. I've seen it on BBC News, CNN, MSNBC, Channel 4 News, Sky News. So, there's no doubt about it. It's beyond the argument now. I mean, all those media channels can't be wrong if they're all saying it and repeating it over and over again. And I know some of you are conspiracy theorists and just don't want to be honest. Oh, it's fake news, you hear it's fake news. Now, come on, be honest with yourself. Stop destroying the planet. Stop breathing. And for white people, even though we're a minority in the global demographic, don't blame the Africans and the Indians and the Chinese for all their huge populations. Take responsibility, because I've thought about this. And if you're a white person and, with all that bigotry, xenophobia, racism, and general hate running through your veins, it seems perfectly reasonable and logical to me that your CO2 emissions from breathing is obviously going to have higher levels of toxicity. So if you're a white person, particularly if you're a white male and straight, God forbid a Christian, obviously your CO2 emissions are just going to be more toxic. A little white family of, with 2 kids, particularly if they're male children and straight, that they're going to cause more damage with their CO2 emissions from breathing than a medium-sized village, say, of 100 black people in Africa. It's just logic. I mean, you're going to have that. If you're going to have that level of hate running through your veins, how is your CO2 emissions going to escape that? They're just not. So I've heard people say, "Oh, it's, why is the media always preaching to white Westerners, even though we're such a small demographic and we're not even having children?" Good, you're not having children when you consider the damage you're doing. You know? So, I mean, who do you think you are, breathing all the time? It's typical white privilege stuff, isn't it, really, when you think about it? Oh, look at me. I hate myself. And I'm glad I hate myself. What kind of a person would I be if I didn't hate myself? I thought about this, and I felt guilty enough before I saw Greta and her video for slavery and for the British imperialism and the Holocaust. You hear these people saying, "Oh, I wasn't around in those days, and it wasn't my ancestors, and I'm not even British, or if you're British, I'm not even American. Why should I take responsibility for it?" You should. Be honest. That's what I like about Greta. She keeps you honest. It's not guilt by association for all those things. I personally speaking, I feel direct collective racial guilt for those transgressions of my ancestors. It may as well have been me having slaves, or me being in Nazi Germany, or me on those ships heading out to invade the whole world in the British Empire. I'm not going to, you get people saying, "Oh, it's nothing to do with me." Or they maybe feel a little bit of guilt and, feeling maybe indirectly guilty. No, you're part of the problem. You're directly guilty for those things. And it's the same with global warming. It's the same attitude, isn't it? That's the problem, you see. It's not just you breathe, it's the attitude. So stop breathing. As Greta said, how dare you? How dare you? How dare you? Breathing all the time. And as she said, we're one of the lucky ones. Apparently, there's people in parts of the world who have literally breathed themselves out to extinction, and we're still here. We're the lucky ones. We still get to breathe, and still get to destroy. It's time to take direct and immediate action. Don't take the piss. Take it seriously. It's a serious issue, as I say. The BBC aren't going to lie, or CNN. I mean, it's the greatest existential threat that we face. So, as I say, it's a genius solution. Anybody can do it anytime, and if you're an evil white capitalist, it doesn't cost you anything. All right? So there's no excuses. In fact, don't even wait till tomorrow. Take direct and immediate action. Stop breathing immediately, even while you're watching this, if you care at all. All I can say is thank God for Greta. I'm glad that there's people like her around to keep us honest. As I say, I hated myself enough. And I'm glad I hate myself, as I say. What sort of a person would I be if I didn't hate myself for all those horrible things that I mentioned? And now destroying the planet. Just stop it. Just stop the breathing. Okay? Anybody can do it anytime. Simple solution. Who do you think you are, breathing all the time anyway? So that's it. Simple message. Take direct and immediate action. Go, Greta. Stop breathing.